to the next topic, and I found my transition to.
Welcome back, planet. Oh, whoa, music planets. Whoa, I almost went out of order.
Yeah.
Welcome to our rooms. I'm Paulo, as always. Oscar and Otis, and Otis always brings in the cool questions. What's up, Otis? What you
So
got for us?
earlier, uh, in a previous episode, we were talking about the guy who um, assassinated the healthcare CEO, and he was captured uh, at a McDonald's. Uh, I think he was at McDonald's because they just released the McRib for and
No,
What kind of
no way.
documented
tradition
What,
is
do,
this? What's
do we
wait?
know? Do we know what he was eating
we
on the day of
we
his?
don't,
Okay,
but the McRib is back, and
yeah.
I've had it twice already.
What a segue!
This guy.
What a segue! Whoa, the
Uh,
McRib is back. It's
yes,
in limited time only.
yes. I don't know why they release it during the holidays because it has nothing to do with the holiday season. It's not like a holiday flavor that you would think of, but I think they should release it during the summertime around Fourth of July because
That's what. Yeah, I remember.
It's American
I
time
do not
to eat
remember.
ribs.
What was that, Oscar?
It's American time to eat ribs, not
Well,
yeah.
before
no,
Christmas.
like I always remember it like late spring, early
Mhm.
summer is when they usually release that product. But for some reason, they released it this fall or this winter, I guess.
Yeah,
I'm like,
during the
what
holiday
is
season.
going on?
Yeah, I think they did it
I
last
guess.
year too, but I think, like I said, around Fourth of July would be perfect because you're thinking in the barbecues and McRib has barbecue sauce on it, so that kind of goes hand in hand. But yeah, so have any of you had the McRib ever? Are you fans? Not fans? I know a lot of people think it's really weird. Re- thing to have at McDonald's. I know Paulo, you have the McDonald's app, but do you partake of the McRib?
So so I everyone knows this by now who watch our videos. I grew up in poverty, and McDonald's is that special thing.
Uh-huh.
I go to McDonald's and I feel like I'm treating myself. It is not like because most people would go to McDonald's and be like, "Oh man, like I can't eat at Ruth Chris, so I gotta settle for McDonald's." And it's
Right.
just like, come on, dude. Like that's McDonald's is a freaking it's one of the best places ever. And I'm definitely partaking in the McRib. I'm a sucker. It's just
Okay.
the McRib thing. I don't even think it's the best sandwich, but because I rarely get it, I
It's
had to get
okay.
some.
Uh-huh.
It's the same thing with the Shamrock Shake that happens every St. Patrick's Day. I always get one,
Yeah.
uh, but just one. Like once I get it, all right, I'm
One,
good.
one and done.
I got my
For the
shot.
McRib, one and done.
One and done. That's it.
What
That's
about you,
all. That's all
Oscar?
I have.
So I used to have a very similar arc to Paulo, where McDonald's like my happy place for my family. Like that's where we'd go to treat
Can you move your
ourselves.
mic in front of you?
Hello.
Yeah. Okay.
There
There
we
we go.
go.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I was with Paulo, where McDonald's was like the happy place to go with my family to like treat ourselves kind of thing. It was the first place that had like free Wi-Fi, so I was able to like hook up my Nintendo DS and like trade Pokemon with like random Japanese people in the world. That was a
Uh-huh.
pretty cool experience. But as the years drew by, I feel like McDonald's kind of lost, in my opinion, they lost what made them special. They started to increase the prices
Really?
of stuff,
That's true.
and they started to make the quality of the food worse. So I feel like I have no reason
Really?
to go there anymore. And just
So
recently, I went to Costa Rica with some family, and for some reason, my family wanted to try out the Costa Rican McDonald's, and it was probably the worst experience of my life, like for McDonald's like event. Like
Okay.
it was really the price of the food was almost same as here, which is crazy because it's Latin America.
uh-huh.
And then the burger they gave me was like, it looked nice in the picture, but when I got it, it looked flat, like someone stepped on it. And then I got the fries, and then the fries were like almost white, like they barely like baked it. It was disgusting. It was
Oh,
They
expensive
were
and
they
just
were,
gross.
they were probably. Oh wow! Like it was half fried
Yeah,
fries. When you
it was
say white fries, I
I
thought they were
good
using a
McDonald's
different type of oil.
fries. They're like nice. They're like browning kind of thing. They have that
they're
Golden,
little
golden.
yeah,
like
They're
golden
golden
texture,
brown.
brown.
golden
Yeah,
brown.
yeah.
This was like limpy, bro. Like it was gross.
Were they?
And
Were
the
were they
worst
raw?
part about that, Otis, is that in other countries you can't just be like, I'm gonna bring this back. what you get is what you get typically. Like that's it. I mean, can you take it back? Could you have taken it back and got another one because where you were Costa Rica?
You know, I didn't consider that fact. I was just so disappointed. I just kind of like was upset and didn't even want to like
He was
see
so
that perspective.
defeated.
What did you
Because
get?
like I see everyone else's food, it's like equally as bad as mine, but they're eating it. I'm just like this is
They
unreal.
don't know. They don't know any better.
Yeah,
It's like McDonald's. This must be it. You
that
know,
place was packed. I'm like, but it doesn't deserve it, bro. This makes no sense.
they don't know any better. So,
Yeah,
They don't know any
what did
better,
what
yeah.
kind what burger did you get? Like a quarter pounder or a Big Mac? What did you get?
I got like I guess the equivalent of like a quarter pounder, but like it wasn't even a quarter, bro. It wasn't even an eighth. Probably like a 16 pounder. It was flat.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So I went and got a
16
McRib
pounder.
last night because it was super late and I didn't want to cook it and I had eaten all day. So I went on the app like Paulo. I want to be like Paulo said. I used the app. I pulled up, gave him the voice code. They said the lady said, uh, pull up to the second window. So there's a window number that has a number one on it. There's a window
Yep.
that has a number two on it, and there's a window that has a number three on it, or something like that. So I pulled up to the second window. The guy gave me my food, my bag. I drove home. I opened it up, and it was not a McRib. It was chicken McNuggets. So
That's insane.
yes,
Go ahead.
so
That's insane, man.
right. So I got back in the car, put my coat back on, got back in the car, drove back up to McDonald's. I said, "Hey, you gave me the wrong meal." They said, "Pull up to the second window," and I said, "Window number two or the second window, because there's a difference, right?"
Yeah.
So they said, "Pull up to window number two." So I pulled up to window number two. The guy said, the lady came. She said, "We gave you the wrong bill." Yep. Here's some nuggets. He said, "Okay." They took the nuggets. They gave me a bag with a McRib in it, and I said, "Hey, how about some fries with this McRib?" Because he was like, "Oh, we cannot. We gave you fries with the other meal." I said, them fries is gone, buddy." I
Yeah.
said, "I want fries with my McRib, not
That's right.
fries and then
That's right.
McRib." Right.
That's right.
I said, and he said, we cannot do anything about that." I said, Yes, you can." I said, "How about hooking a brother up with some fries to have with my McRib? Not, I don't want them
Yeah,
separate."
I
Right.
just had to drive out here in the cold because you messed up my order and
That is
you can't
exactly what
even
I
do
said.
right by
Mhm.
me.
All right. That's it. So I went
Wow.
home. I had to put my coat back on, drive all the way back. He said, "We cannot do anything about that." I said, he said, "You already you paid for one meal. We would have to charge you for some other fries." I said, "How about my gas money that I spent going
That's
home
right.
and coming back?" Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
they're
So
not paid enough to care, Otis. Their
I
minimum
was
wage.
I was not gonna
Well,
leave without some
but
fries.
but
Yeah.
but for them to like be like, "Hey man, let me make this man that I'm working for more money.
Hmm.
Screw you."
Right.
It's like, come on, dude. Like it the you would have done the opposite if you didn't care. You know,
Right.
like I used to be a McDonald's employee, and if someone like Otis came by and he's like, "Hey man, like I wasted my time. I came out here. How about you do right by me and give me some fries?" I'm like, "All right, dude. Like I really don't want to. I don't want to fight you. Like
Well,
that's it."
what if because they kept messing up orders the whole day? Otis not the first guy to complain. He's like the 100th guy to complain. So they're like, oh, here we go again. Like it's like a
Dude,
cascading effect.
that
They need to
place
get their
deserves to go out of business. Like what?
they need
It
to
That
get
won't
is
their
because
nuts.
people still coming.
Yeah. So what I think happened was the lady told me to pull up to the
That's
second
funny.
window, but what she meant was pull up to window number two. So
Yeah.
I pulled up to the second window, no, not window number two, because there's a difference, right?
Right.
And then they gave me the wrong meal because I was the wrong guy, right?
That's her fault then. You should have
But
said first,
that's
second window.
still their fault. They need to specify pull up to the window that's number two
Wait,
on it.
can you refresh for me? So you said the first window is 2 and the second one is 1. Like
No, so the first window is where you pay,
yeah,
right? So that's window number one, and
yeah.
then there's another window, and then there's a third window, right?
Oh,
So
okay. Third
yeah,
one.
so
I
the
see.
window number one it doesn't say number one on it, right?
Yeah.
So the window number two says one on it, and the
That's
window
so
number
dumb.
three says two on it.
This
You're
should be
like,
1, 2, and 3. Like
right.
whatever.
So it's
Anyways,
dumb. So when you're saying pull up to the second window, I'm pulling up to the second window, not window number two, because the second window
Yeah.
is window number one.
And then number one.
So, right. So that's what I did. I
Incredible.
pulled up to the second window, which was window number one. So
Incredible.
you did. Yeah. So here's your chicken McNuggets. Number one guy, and I drove away. Yeah. So they need to specify, and I think that's where the mistake was made. But yeah, he gave me a hard time, and I was like, "Bro, just give me a small fry." And he said, "Okay." He got like he was like offended, like I was eating his French fries or something. You know?
It might got his paycheck. You don't know that.
It's so weird. It's so weird. And you
Yeah.
even showed proof. You're like, look, here's what I got,
Mhm.
and I wanted a McRib, and you guys, I even brought the meal back. Like, what do you
Right,
want?
here's
You know,
your
what
stupid
else do you
nuggets, but
want?
they probably took those nuggets and put them back on the heating thing to get to somebody.
No,
I bet you, as
I will
petty as
say
they
that
are,
some places do that, but
mhm,
it's so bad. Like,
as
you could
petty as
poison
they were being,
someone.
that's probably what they did. They probably resold
Golly,
somebody else. Mhm.
the owner must be in there watching them work, because like I can't, like, I do know that some people care about their jobs, but to care that much about that's insane. You're
How
talking
can
about
you?
a few dollars.
How can you say, "Sir, you sold too many French fries tonight"? You know, how does that even happen? You know, you can't quantify that. So I can understand if like a whole bag of fries went missing, but like just a little thing of fries, you're not gonna be like, you, an ounce over was sold, sir. You're gonna be reprimanded. You know, that's nothing to them. You know, so I just
So
yeah.
I will say that coming from a place like the Philippines, some people might find you, Otis, as like too privileged to even ask something like that. Just be like, hey, Otis, you should have just taken the McRib. I mean, you already ate the fries? Why would you even that? Here's the thing, though, right? Like in
Uh-huh.
America, right? Like in our industry, you always do right by the customer, right? And
Mhm.
some people don't get that. And I just want to stress this, like when you mess up, you own up to it, and then you try to win your business back. Now, I don't know if this McDonald's has a monopoly in your area, Otis. Hopefully not. But it's like, okay, I'm never coming back because you guys like made me
Yeah,
go out here because of your screw up.
right.
Like help me help you. Like,
Yeah,
get me some fries.
yeah. You gotta,
And that's something that
you
people
gotta,
don't
because
connect.
Iconic.
yeah, if you went to a restaurant and even if they brought you a meal and it was cold or whatever, or
Right.
not hot, you would say, "Hey, this meal is not hot. Can you send it back to the kitchen or whatever?" They'll
Yeah.
come back.
Yeah.
They'll come back. They'll warm it up, bring it back, and they'll say, "That's it on the house," or "Here's a gift certificate for the next visit," something like that, right? Not, this is not our fault. You got to pay extra if you want it warmed up. You know, that's just not what you do. You know, that's not good business. So
No.
Wait,
the
so
fact
wait, I
that
have a
he was like,
question for y'all, real quick on this. Do you, like where both of you all live? Do you not have like mom and pop type restaurants kind of thing? Because like I'm hearing this conversation, like I understand logically why like the guy should give you the fries, right? Because he made a mistake kind of thing. But
mhm.
where we live, Woodbridge, it's like there's so many chain brands. I feel like even if they make mistakes and you never come back as a customer, it won't matter in the bottom line because everyone else will like fill the bottom line in a sense.
But yeah,
There's almost no stakes for them to be good.
that's
So
fine. But if you keep doing that business practice, you will lose business
you will
in
lose
the long run.
business. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
So
doesn't matter what kind of chain you are. You just
yeah,
lose business.
I feel like
yeah,
they've earned so much that losing a couple people like pretty often will not matter for the actual bottom line.
yeah. But
That's,
think of places
That's
that
if you're doing things right most of the time.
yeah.
yeah.
So think of places that have gone out of business because of bad word of mouth or bad service,
Okay.
bad menus. It catches up to you eventually. You know.
Yeah.
So you
Can,
just
can you
can't
name a couple of big profile like restaurants or chains that
that
went
have gone out of
down in our
business for
area? Yeah.
bad service
Yeah.
or bad food.
in our area.
Uh,
Yeah.
and I'll just say in general.
Okay.
Well,
Go ahead,
there's
Paulo.
one. There's the Bonchon chicken
Okay.
went out of
Bonchon is
business.
like I would consider it like a big chain. It's not like McDonald's tier kind of thing, you know.
Yeah, but it's a
It's
chain.
not McDonald's tier. Okay. There's a lot. There's
Yeah,
constantly
McDonald's,
Wendy's
Wendy's,
closed.
yeah.
Yeah,
Wendy's
when
are
Okay,
they,
I'll give you one. Roy Rogers. Their food sucks.
that's tier
And they have
below McDonald's.
yeah, but you can
it's
So
see
gotta
okay,
be
okay,
the
okay.
same
Fine.
level
You're
as
right.
but
McDonald's.
you
They
and the
should have
reason
been acting better.
the reason that they're a tier below is because their food sucks, right? So nobody wants it.
So that's fair. They should
Right.
have learned their lesson, and they did not, and they paid the price.
Right. So they need a better menu to bring in service or customers.
Okay, I guess what I meant to say was like, you got burned by this one McDonald's. Maybe you won't go to that one ever again, but you go to a different one because you like McDonald's in general. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah. I
Right.
understand that, but
Yeah.
You're
go ahead.
you're not looking at it the right way, Oscar,
Yeah,
because
tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong.
McDonald's is a franchise, right? Like
Yeah.
it's a franchise model. So whoever owns the McDonald's gets hit if nobody comes. It's not the McDonald's corporation because they own the land. They're gonna be wealthy no matter what. Even if the food sucks, they're gonna be wealthy no matter what. It's the owners that so like if that owner loses business, even though everyone else is making money, everyone else is not subsidizing that bad McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay,
they'll
wait.
run out of business eventually.
Here's my hang up. Here's my hang up. Okay, Otis, is the McDonald's you're talking about? Is it the one that used to be in front of the Kmart? That McDonald's?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, that one is the worst because it's
It's
not local
it is
people
the
that go there.
worst.
It's people coming from the highway, things like that. That's why I feel like they
But
have the
it's
right
not
to
even
be bad,
that. It's just their service is terrible. But also
and they don't care
you're
because they
absolutely
just
right.
get everyone anyway.
Yeah, yeah. I see
Yeah.
what you're saying. So they get a lot of traffic, so they don't care really.
So burning Otis, like who cares? Like
Because
just
the
one
one in Lake Ridge, remember when you used to live in Lake Ridge,
Uh-huh.
that area, that McDonald's,
Yeah.
that McDonald's is great.
Yeah.
that's good because like a local one, like it's in the community kind of thing. So
And plus
But
now that you have Yelp, you have Reddit, you have all these places where people go and put reviews about your restaurant that can affect your business.
yeah,
You
they
know,
can affect. Yeah,
yeah, and you
yep.
don't want that. Even if it's just one person, that can cause like a domino effect.
Yeah,
Because other people would just chime in and say, "Oh yeah, that place does suck. I hate it." So you don't want that.
but it
You think
sucks.
you're about
So,
to,
but you eventually got your McRib, and how was it?
the McRib was fine. Uh,
Not worth the mistake. It sounds
no,
like.
so I'll probably go somewhere else to get another one. I'll go a little bit further. Um, so yeah, the McRib is
You know
great. But it's not worth the terrible service.
what kills me is they recently renovated that specific location,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and but they didn't renovate or they didn't change how they did things, which is
yeah,
kind of crazy.
yeah,
Uh, everyone knows that area, that specific location is not good. So I it makes me wonder. Like, I want to know how, like how they're getting so much business in that area. Like be serving the way they do. Like, I just want to see like the traffic that comes in and just how everyone gets handled.
yeah,
Also, I will say this, and I guess this could be anecdotal, but I feel like it's happened to me enough to even say that this is concrete. I always get way better service when I go inside, make my
yeah,
order, and pick up
yeah.
the food than
Hmm.
if I go through the
oh, absolutely.
drive-through.
Yeah,
It's
because
just
you're right there in
so
front of their
much worse.
face. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And
So
and me wasting like a minute or two more minutes inside to me is
yeah,
like worth it than like
yeah,
waste my gas on a drive-through.
yeah.
I,
It's the it's kind of like uh, being in person versus being online. When you're
Oh
dealing with
yeah.
a person online, you deal with them differently. You deal with a person that's in front of your face.
You're like
Mm.
online you're like, I'm gonna kill your mother, and then
Right.
in person you're like, hey man, you're
Right.
being bad. Like,
Right.
can you stop, please?
Right. Exactly. Like those people that be trash talking in video games, they would never do that in front of your face. So it's just a different interaction. But some other places I can think of that had have had issues with service or menus. Uh, um, Oscar would be like Red Lobster. They've had some issues with service
Yeah,
menus. I
and food.
remember
Yeah,
um, Denny's had a bad rap for being um, like giving bad service to black people for a long
yeah,
time.
yeah. I was gonna say, like, yeah. You didn't
Waffle
know
House.
that? Did you
Waffle
not know
House
that,
has a
Oscar?
I'm
terrible
not black. I
reputation.
can't say I personally experienced that, but
The
Waffle House. Go
civil
ahead.
rights movement,
Hmm.
when in the movies, when they enter the diner and they won't
Uh,
leave, you know those scenes.
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes,
That's from a Denny's.
I've seen text.
Mhm.
That's from Denny's. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
that's a Denny's thing.
That's
You
bad
didn't
publicity for Denny's.
And
like if
yeah.
there was like whites
So I
only
just yeah,
Denny's, which is
they had a
nuts.
bad rap for a long time for just giving bad service to black people. And then
And they
another
never
place that
recovered, in my
yeah,
opinion.
and another place that suffers from bad image is Waffle House. So all the fights and stuff that you see online
But
at Waffle
food's
House,
so
Food is really
good.
good at Waffle House. For the first time
So
recently.
why did they get such shit customer base? And it's the food's so good.
yeah, the food's
Ah,
good,
that's
but the people, they just have a bad rap of attracting trash people, right?
yeah, like the customer base is so bad.
Yeah.
I don't
What's
understand.
that airline that had a really bad reputation for like fights and
Spirit.
stuff? Spirit, same thing.
Spirit.
Yeah, Spirit.
Well,
Yes,
Spirit is like the cheapest one. I don't know if
yeah,
that
but they
correlates
have a
to more fights.
huge rep uh, issue because of that. So that
Well,
affects,
S-
you
Why are
know,
people fighting on
South
airlines?
uh,
Southwest had a used to be like the Spirit of back then because they were
mhm,
so cheap,
mhm,
but they did it right.
yeah,
Like they were able to have good business and have a good clientele that they were able to grow. Well, not so much anymore. They're not doing so well today.
yeah,
But Spirit, on the other hand, kind of ran it terribly. I
yeah,
mean, like their customer to conflict resolution was garbage. Like you can't like call a customer service and be like, hey, you guys charged me extra for my bag. I mean, like you'll hear crickets, and
yeah,
so they're it was just a
and then
combination of bad clientele and bad service.
yeah, and people will go on Yelp or wherever they can and say this place sucks. They did this, that, and the third, and then the people will dogpile on,
Yeah,
and then you have a bad rep that you gotta kind of dig yourself out of this bad reputation hole. And a lot of the companies can't do that. They have a bad rep and they go out of business because people don't go or use it. So, but anyway, I will just go to another McDonald's. I'll have another McRib uh, on another occasion before they stop selling them. I will ask for extra sauce and extra pickles, and I will be happy. And
yep,
that is the end
and
of the
and you'll
conversation.
get your fries.
That's right. I will be sure to check my order before I drive away.
And no snarky Jamaican employee to deal with.
Yes.
I will say this, that for those people who are watching, if you were wrong, if you're in America, first of all, because if you're outside America, I don't know what to do with you guys because they pretty much just be like, all right, well, you're on your own, buddy. But in America, we care about customer service in here, and if you've been wrong with your meals, you should speak out about it. They might not fix it, but at the very least, you make your opinions known, and then have the market decide whether that this should exist, right?
Yeah,
So,
I wouldn't have caused a stink or anything about it. Like like jump through the window or anything crazy like that.
well, that's not what I mean, though. Like,
I know. I'm just saying, but
don't destroy a business. Like,
some
don't
people
destroy
have
property.
some people have done those types of things,
I
right?
know those guys are
Yeah,
crazy. Those
but I
guys
don't.
are
That's
absolute
not maybe.
crazy people.
It's not that serious, but like you said, I
Wait, would
my
you consider doing that, Otis?
no, I would never do that.
Like they take your McRib, they like you're missing a bun. they didn't. They didn't even pack. They didn't.
So
They didn't use paper
let me
bags.
tell you a few stories. One time I went to Wendy's. I got a hamburger. I picked it up, and it was two buns, lettuce, tomatoes, pickles, and no meat.
Hell, where's the
So,
meat go?
and another time I went to this a sit down restaurant. We sat down. We were gonna have dinner before going to a movie, so we were kind of on a time schedule. So we sat down. We ordered. We waited for the food. The food came. I ordered some kind of chicken sandwich. I picked it up. I bit into it. The chicken was frozen.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, I just bit into some raw frozen chicken. I could get salmonella or whatever. So I was like, and so they're like, "Oh, we're so sorry, sir. We'll make you." I was like, "Just take it off the bill. I don't want it."
Yeah,
uh, yeah. So they took it off, and I didn't pay for it. So you know, they made it right, even though it was like a drastic error
that was
on their
huge.
part.
Yeah, that was a huge error. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh,
yeah.
goodness.
you could have gotten
So
sick.
have you
Yeah,
ever had anything like that happen, Oscar? We get something wrong with your order, or like
dude,
I think
Oscar.
the worst thing that happened to
Such.
me that I remember.
did you just
Okay, Paulo, finish this after.
No, 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 no. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
the one that you just
I
talked
better
about?
Is
stop myself before
The
I
white
get
cloud.
hurt.
is I went to this beach a long time ago with some friends called Colonial Beach in Virginia. It's
Oh
kind of
my god!
like a
Yeah,
more local
Yeah,
beach.
ghetto
yeah.
Yeah,
beach.
I know. I
you know.
know. I know where that is.
So that beach is so small, only has like one or two restaurants. So we went to one or two of those restaurants, and we
Uh huh.
waited for I think an hour and a half for our food to come out.
Uh huh.
And then the whole time, my friend was asking me, "Do we tip good or bad?" Because our server was nice, but the food never came out, kind of thing.
Right.
So, and they didn't take anything off for that. They like the server apologized, but like that didn't make it feel better about the fact we're starving for an hour and a half, kind of thing.
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah.
The experience is what counts towards the tip, in my opinion. Everyone has their own opinion about how tips should be divvied
So
out. Like,
you
oh,
would
you
have
should
tipped.
always.
You would have not tipped then because it took too long.
I wouldn't tip for an hour and a
I,
half. Wait.
Yeah.
it would have been a low end tip for sure.
Yeah.
It
It
would have been
depends.
like,
That that is not the way. Well, that may not have been the waiter's fault. It could have been the kitchen's fault,
okay,
or
the,
staffing issues.
I think it was
and
like a mix of the
okay,
last two
but
that
that's
day.
still the experience. So like you tip for a good time. Like
Well,
like I don't just show up.
are you tipping the restaurant or are you tipping the waiter or waitress? That's
That's I
what.
don't know. Like I don't know how it gets split. I think it gets split amongst everyone, right?
You don't
Like even
know. You don't know how the
hostess
business
too.
is run.
Well, the tip
You
should
you
go
don't know.
only
Yeah.
to the wait staff.
So
I don't think that's true.
that's what I thought. But then I've worked at restaurants where the dishwasher boys get tipped
They
too,
they pull the tip,
and
right?
yeah,
Okay.
like they just give it to almost everybody in the restaurant except for the chef.
Some places are like that, but some places the tip goes to the person that you tip and nobody else. So it
Right.
depends on how they do it. But for me, I'm tipping the person that waited on me. I'm not. I don't care uh, about the
The
experience so
food.
much as the service that I get, because
Okay.
there are things that are outside of the control of the wait staff, like uh, you know, a small
Man.
kitchen, or you know, like they don't have a lot of people on the floor or whatever.
Well then, I'm the Scrooge, dude. Because I'll tell you right now, if I was an Oscars table, I would have been like, "Is there something you can do while we wait? You know, get those bottomless fries. You
Right?
know,
Oh yeah,
There
get
was
get
nothing
us
coming out of the kitchen for
get us
anyone.
some drinks
yeah.
for
So
anybody."
right, bring us
Yeah.
some.
How many people were you guys? Are the only ones getting served that day?
We
Was
were a
it
big party, and then the rest of the beach was there too, apparently. So
so it's really busy.
yeah,
So it was
It
really
was
busy.
super busy, and they were probably short staffed or just
Okay,
yeah.
that context does make a lot more sense.
Mhm.
Uh,
But I
I would,
still
yeah, I would,
after half an hour, I would have got up and left.
yeah.
yeah,
That's what we should have
I would
done.
have gotten
It was
left.
dumb for us to wait.
I would have walked out. I,
Yeah.
I, to be honest with you, like after 45 minutes of after they've taken my order and I still haven't gotten it, I would have been like, no, thank you. I'm just gonna
wouldn't
go
even wait
across
that
the
long.
street for a McDonald's and,
Yeah, I wouldn't even wait
and
that
There's
long.
no across the
over
street,
there.
bro. It's Colonial Beach. The cross street is
That's
the
true.
I
forest.
would have ate at home or something.
Yeah, I would have gone to like the local Walmart or something.
It would have
Yeah,
been at least
I would've-
another half an hour to an hour to get to
I
like
would've went to
civilization.
McDonald's and got a
That's
McRib.
crazy. I've been to Colonial Beach. They have shops. They can't be the only way, Oscar. Come on.
I remember there's a very adamant reason why we didn't leave. I don't remember what the
Oscar,
reason was.
you could have just put a line in the water and reeled it.
No, Oscar's
Beaches-
like,
no,
I-
that water is gross. It turns your clothes green.
Oscar's like, guys, I don't have any option. It was the only restaurant for 50 miles. I got nowhere else to eat. And then at that point, then I'll sit there. Like,
I think it was
but-
because we had a big party and it's too much of a hassle to like coordinate everyone to go to another place.
Yeah,
I guess
How
so.
big of a
I
party
guess
you
so.
got? Well, like 20 people?
It was like 12, something like that.
Oh, yeah, that's a big party.
But that's still, again, this is my personal opinion. The tip correlates to how good the experience was at that restaurant. And, there are moments where the waiter or the waitress like would make the wait time entertaining even though it was long. And that goes into like you go to a restaurant the purpose of a restaurant is to be brought out of reality and feel like you're being served. You're being like
Catered.
treated a lot better because the real
I've
world's
never heard this.
terrible.
Yeah.
No, that's the concept of a restaurant.
I'm
You're
going to ask someone else
supposed-
this.
Yeah,
I
you're
think it's
supposed
an
to.
idealized way
A
of looking at
A
this.
sit-down restaurant. And
Yeah,
the fancier
yeah.
the restaurant, the better the service is.
The better the fantasy, yeah.
Yeah,
The better the service.
You two
So-
are ridiculous.
Hey, look it up. Look it up.
I'm gonna
And-
just ask
and if-
around.
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
mean,
survey, I'm gonna survey the table.
You're
But if-
paying, you're paying for that. Yeah.
but if I go in there and I feel like life sucks, I mean, like, what's the difference? Like, I'm just here getting my food. Then, like,
I'm at home cooking and save money. I feel accomplished.
I don't think
As a
you're
home shelf.
saving any money at a restaurant these days. Not even.
No. Like
Well,
the option is like, what else can I do? It's like I can just go home and make food. Like,
you could go home and have a PB and J.
Yes, sir.
Be fine.
Uncrustables.
yeah, it would have. Your experience would have been exactly the same if
Mhm.
if your night hasn't been ruined yet
Yeah.
for waiting that long. So
Yeah.
I
So
mean-
how about you, Paulo? What is your worst restaurant like?
oh boy, the worst restaurant experience I've ever had, and this is terrible. I was and no surprise, I was in the Philippines. I was sitting at in this floating restaurant. You could say.
Is it floating like in on a boat or on a?
On a boat. Yeah, it's
Okay.
on the water, and
Okay.
then they launch off, and then they try to serve you food. But
Okay.
like when we sat there, something must have happened. Like some kind of terrible thing must have happened because they didn't have food. Like they had like, well, they didn't have food that I considered like a meal,
Okay.
right? They had like what I considered appetizers per se.
Okay.
And they kept serving this, and I said, "Hey, when's the food gonna come?" And like I could see the panic on the staff on the boat that someone must have like left the food back at the dock.
Oh,
But like it's a floating restaurant, so it's not like I can just up and leave. And the ride lasts for 40 minutes, so I'm there with no food and just sitting there, doing nothing.
Left the
I didn't want any more of their appetizers. That's what I call it. They didn't call it
So
appetizers.
This was like
but-
a build as a dinner cruise or a lunch cruise or something like that.
No. It's like a floating table. So you sit there. I think there's like 8 of us there, and they just launch off, and you kind of just like enjoy the water, enjoy the scenery while you're
They
eating.
serve you food, not just
Right, and they're supposed. It's like a hibachi style where you sit on the outside of the table, and then there's a guy in the middle prepping your food and all that.
That's kinda
And
cool.
he even has a heat source, which is
Uh-huh.
really nice. But yeah, so we didn't get the meal that I was looking for because I saw the menu and they didn't have any of those, and I couldn't leave. And then by the time I got home, I got sick. I got food sick, and 3 other people from the 8 that ate it
Oh boy.
also got sick. So not only did we not eat, but then we had like bad, stomach aches
Well,
afterwards.
good thing you didn't have the other food you probably would have died.
Triple six.
Well,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have eaten as
Yeah.
much of the bad appetizer if
Well,
we
yeah.
had the other food.
You probably would have been
It's like in
all
hindsight, your life was
Yeah,
saved that day. Your life was
yeah.
I
spared
think
by
I,
that
I
next
would
day.
like to think that the main entree would have been a lot safer to eat than
So this
whatever
is like
filthy
No,
was serving
that's
us.
negative thinking. Think positive. Your life was spared that day.
this is like a
That's true.
floating fire fest.
It's just bread and cheese.
Oh,
It's
Fire
just bread
Fest.
and cheese.
What a great time.
But that was the worst. I was like, man, I paid money for this, and when I got on land, I demanded a refund. I was like, I don't want like
Give me
what
my
I
money.
I had all your apps, but I want a refund.
Did you
I
get it?
paid in advance with my family on there,
Did you
and
get a refund?
I got partial refund, which is such an
Cop
like I
out.
wanted to like
Mm.
strangle that guy because I'm like,
So
we
you
didn't get what we
you think
wanted.
Okay, you didn't back down. You didn't say no refund. That's good.
so you think it was like that Willy Wonka experience where they knew they didn't have the real stuff, but they charged you anyway? You think it was like that?
So
Like
I will
scam?
say it's not exactly like that because my family still enjoyed the water, like the
Mhm.
water uh, going around the river. But like I was there for the food. I looked at the menu and I'm like, yes, they have the food that I want, and I can take my family out to a
Right.
wonderful,
Well, what were
go
you
around
looking
the
forward
river.
to that was supposed to be on the menu?
So they have like various seafood
Uh
that
huh.
doesn't exist in America because they don't have those kinds of species of
Uh huh.
fish like the kingfish and all that.
Uh huh.
Um, and they have this barbecue chicken
Hmm.
that is usually street food, but I had to wait at night to get it. But they had it on the boat, and we were going during the afternoon.
Oh, okay.
Um,
So there was a menu that you looked at prior to getting on the boat.
yeah, and typically you make your order,
Hmm.
and then the boat launches off.
Okay.
So they can like stock the boat,
Right.
and yeah,
So
it was
when you
terrible.
got on there, there's like chicken. What chicken? This a boat.
This-
There's no
I
chicken on the boat.
the reaction was, I guess I wish I could have videotaped it, but they were like, "Oh, let us check." Like the panic was real. Like
Let us
you could
check the
tell.
remote chicken
Yeah,
kitchen.
let
Yeah.
me check the back.
Let
Had
us go.
Wait a
Let us go.
second. There's no
would be
back.
under the table, like in the water.
All right. Let us
My
go check.
my secret fridge in the water.
I mean, if I was the employee in that boat, I would have just jumped off. I would
Yeah,
have
I was
been
gonna
like, "Yeah, let me go
let me
check the back," and then just dive into the river and swim
just
out.
swim back to shore.
That's embarrassing. That's absolutely embarrassing. And no, the staff did not jump on the water. They stayed on the boat for the rest of the tour, but I'm sure they were incredibly embarrassed.
It reminds me of I was watching something about it was a movie review about a movie, and the person said, uh, "If I watched this movie as an in-flight movie, I would have still walked out."
That's a good
Wait,
review.
wait, what
I,
movie? What movie? Do you remember?
I forget. I forget the movie, but I was like, "Dang, that's messed up."
that serves a standing ovation for me. If I read that review, that's funny.
Yeah,
that's
it reminds me
that's
of that.
it sucks. It sucks when films are like that too. Anyways, that's a different topic altogether. I was about to dive into like Anchorman 2, where the bloopers were actually funnier than the actual
Then the
movie.
movie, yeah, I
Um,
agree.
but anyways,
I
yeah.
agree.
Otis, what was your worst? Because I think you're the only
No,
one
no,
who hasn't.
I just told you two of mine: the
Oh, okay,
frozen
okay,
chicken
gotcha,
and
gotcha.
the burger with no meat in it. So
Dang.
yeah, so I had to. So we can wrap it up. We're at
Yeah.
40 minutes.
Well, any of you guys looking forward to the McRib this winter? Otherwise, tell us your worst restaurant experience down in the comments below. With that said, hopefully you guys have a fantastic holiday, and we'll see you on our next drop.